Thank you for joining us tonight for this special episode of Mysteries of the Abyss. We start our story in the southwest corner of Wyoming, in a little town called Fort Bridger. Fort Bridger is steeped in the history of the American West. It is a small town full of small town values and ideal, rural, quiet living. However, this small town has a secret. Locals tell tales that Whispering Witch's Ranch is home to strange noises and unexplained phenomena. And while no one has been able to document any of these strange happenings, we were able to get our hands on dozens of missing persons cases on file with the local police department. All of them have one thing in common. They were all last seen right outside of Whispering Witch's Ranch. Jane Goodman was an all-American girl. She grew up right here in Fort Bridger. She was a good student and a great athlete. She enjoyed riding and taking care of her horses and spending time with her best friend, Annabelle Smith.
She was a good girl. Never got into any trouble. Straight A student. Her father and I just miss her so much.
Bless you. Thank you.
June 15th, 2012. Jane and a group of friends were walking along the road near Whispering Witch's Ranch. As they approached the ranch, they decided to dare each other to get closer and closer to the property. One of the boys dared someone to enter the property. Jane, being brave and having her go-get-'em attitude, took him up on the offer and entered the ranch.
We were called out that night. We received a call from a one Annabelle Smith, who was very, very frightened. When we interviewed the teens, they all said the same thing. They watched Jane run into the property, disappear, and heard a loud scream. Quite peculiar.
It was like the overgrowth. It came up and grabbed her and swallowed her. I can still hear her screams. It gives me nightmares.
It's just been so hard on me and her father. Sometimes it doesn't feel real, like she's gonna walk through that door and come back to us. Thank you.
Whispering Ranch was established in the late 1800s and was a prosperous ranch that supplied some of the best beef in the region. However, in 1890, a drought hit the region and the ranch's hay crops withered away. Despite their best efforts, the farmers couldn't revive their once thriving fields, and the cows never returned. Legend says that they turned to a local witch for help, but when the owners of the farm refused to pay the price she demanded, she cursed the land. Now, those brave enough to come close to the abandoned ranch land claim to hear a strange whispering coming from overgrowth that covers the once bountiful fields. These claims have led to the ranch's moniker, Whispering Witch's Ranch. Could these legends be true, or is this just a tale to frighten the children? Is this ranch another Bermuda Triangle? Or is a serial killer at large in this small community? Well, Mysteries of the Abyss is here to find out. April 5th, 2020. It was just another Wednesday night of playing in a local pool league for David Blakesley. After his team's win, they celebrated at a local tavern. David, knowing it would be irresponsible for him to drive, left the popular establishment to make his way home on foot. This would be the last anyone ever saw of David.
Well, I wasn't too worried because he always stays out late on bowling league night. I figured he'd come rolling in later with the fog. I went on to bed. When I woke up the next morning, he still wasn't home.
After interviewing his wife and friends and everybody was at the bar that night, we still didn't have any leads. So we enlisted the help of the local canine Duke to help us see if we could find a trace.
Canine units were able to trace David's scent to the entrance of Whispering Witch's Ranch, but when they got there, all they could find was his wallet lying on the ground. Police entered as far as they could in the overgrowth, but they could find no trace of David.
I just don't understand why he would even go in there. The hardest part is not knowing what happened to him.
We do have dozens of missing persons files. The one thing they have in common is they were all last seen at or on the property of the Whispering Witches Ranch. So something is definitely not right there.
And now, in a move that has the town in a furor, the Linda K. Woody Memorial Foundation has had the audacity to sell tickets to thrill seekers and occult enthusiasts that allowed entrance into the farm itself. The foundation alleges that the farm is completely safe and that these stories are all just tall tales.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us at the Whispering Witches Ranch. We know there's been a lot of rumors about the happenings here at the ranch, but that is mostly due to the non-native plant life. It's perfectly safe. Come check us out.
Will these tours prove that there is nothing supernatural about the ranch, or will there be more missing persons? Find out in the next episode of Mysteries of the Abyss.